So, psychologists love telling you why you're unhappy. And their favorite explanation is that you don't accept reality. You resist what is. You fight against the world instead of flowing with it. They say it like they've just handed you the keys to enlightenment. Like they've decoded the universe and the answer was right there in the CBT workbook all along. But when you break it down, this acceptance starts looking less like wisdom and more like a training manual for slaves. Let me show you what exactly they want you to accept. You live surrounded by people wearing masks. Not COVID masks, not anymore. Personality masks. Everyone speaks in scripts. How are you? Fine, thanks, and you? And if you dare break script, if you actually tell someone how you are, they look at you like you've lost your mind. Every interaction is a performance. Every relationship is a transaction. People evaluate you like merchandise. What's your market value? What can you do for me? You see that authenticity and honesty are bad cards in this game. Narcissists and psychopaths rule because the world runs on their rules. But sure, you just need to accept this. You spend 50 hours a week in a box selling your finite existence for the right to eat and sleep indoors, not doing what you love, not creating what matters to you, but generating profit for someone who already has more money than they could spend in 1,000 lifetimes. Their kids are depressed because they've run out of things to want, while you live paycheck to paycheck. We live in a world of artificial scarcity where you stress about rent, but there's unlimited amount of money available the moment someone decides to start a war. And psychologists say your problem is not accepting this beautiful reality. Here's more of what you need to accept. You can't choose where to live on this planet because someone drew lines on a map and decided which slave owner you belong to based on where your mother happened to be when you fell out of her. They call this citizenship and pretend it's a privilege. But wherever you're born, without the right piece of paper, you're nothing. You have no voice against a bureaucracy you never chose, yet it governs every move of your life. You watch politicians lie every time their mouths move. Everyone knows they're lying. They know, we know. We know, they know, we know. But we all pretend this is democracy, this is representation, this is the best system we have. Meanwhile, you pay taxes on money you earned, taxes when you spend it, taxes on things you already own. They take their cut at every turn, and if you don't pay, men with guns put you in a cage. But remember, your unhappiness is just an acceptance problem. So here's what modern psychology offers as the solution. And I shit you not, these are from actual peer-reviewed studies and best-selling therapy books. Keep a gratitude journal. Every day, write 3 things you're grateful for. I'm grateful to get a whole 1 day a week with my family. I'm grateful I can still afford groceries without selling a kidney. I'm grateful my landlord is raising rent by just 15% this year. You're literally training your brain to find breadcrumbs of positivity in a shit sandwich. It's like telling someone in prison to keep a journal about how nice the sunlight looks through the bars. Practice mindfulness. Be present with your exploitation. Really feel that fluorescent lighting on your skin. Breathe deeply as you sit in traffic for 2 hours to get to a job that could be done from home. Savor the moment as you explain to your kid Why you can't make it to their school play because quarterly reports are due. Find meaning in your suffering. This one's beautiful. Instead of questioning why you suffer, invent a story about why it's meaningful. Your meaningless corporate job, you're contributing to society. Your loneliness in a city of millions, you're learning independence. Your exhaustion, you're building character. They've studied this shit extensively. People who find meaning in their suffering report higher life satisfaction. You know what else reports high satisfaction? Stockholm Syndrome victims. Just saying. When you point out that maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't your lack of acceptance, but the actual fucked up state of things, they have labels ready. You're resistant to treatment. You have oppositional tendencies. You're stuck in victim mentality. You need to work on your cognitive distortions. See what they did there? Your accurate perception of an insane system becomes your pathology. Your refusal to pretend everything's fine becomes your mental illness. They'll never say, yeah, you're right, working yourself to death for someone else's yacht money while the planet burns is objectively insane. Instead, they'll teach you breathing exercises. And they have science to back it up. Studies show that people who practice acceptance have lower cortisol levels. No shit, because they've given up fighting. That's not health, that's defeat. Research proves gratitude practices increase reported well-being. Of course they do. If you train someone to focus only on the crumbs they get, they'll stop noticing the feast that was stolen from them. Mindfulness meditation changes your brain. Yes, it literally changes your brain to stop reacting to threats. They market this as evolution, but it's degradation. Your anxiety about losing your job, fucking up your tax forms and losing your house, or going bankrupt from a broken leg isn't a disorder. It's your brain correctly identifying real threats that can destroy your life tomorrow. So here's what we need to ask. If happiness requires you to accept exploitation, ignore injustice, feel grateful for scraps, find meaning in meaninglessness, and meditate away your appropriate anger, is that happiness? Or is that just a well-decorated cage making you comfortably numb? When they say you're unhappy because you don't accept reality, they're pulling the ultimate sleight of hand. They're taking a socially constructed prison and calling it reality. They're taking a system designed by humans, maintained by humans, and benefiting specific humans, and pretending it's as natural and unchangeable as gravity. But if we didn't have this prison, we wouldn't need psychotherapists. Strip away the bullshit for a second. Remove the wage slavery, the bureaucratic maze, the social theater, the constant threat of poverty if you don't perform correctly. Would you still be this fucking miserable? Or is your misery a completely rational response to all this hell we're living in? And therapy is just damage control to keep you functional enough to keep serving it. Your unhappiness isn't a perception problem. It's not a gratitude deficiency. It's not a failure to accept what is. Your unhappiness is your last functioning alarm system screaming that something is deeply, fundamentally wrong. And instead of fixing what's wrong, they want to fix you. They want to cut the wires to your alarm system and call it healing. You know what? Your refusal to accept this shit isn't pathology. It's the only sane response. When you feel disgust at politicians lying with a straight face on TV, that's your sanity noticing gaslighting. When endless ads make you nauseous, that's your mind refusing to be programmed. When you look at endless paperwork and bureaucratic rituals and feel rage, that's clarity about slavery dressed as order. When something in you refuses to accept that this is just how things are, that's the last part of you that remembers this isn't normal. So here's your real choice, and no therapist will frame it this way. You can accept their version of reality. Take the gratitude journal, do breathing exercises, find meaning in the meaningless, practice radical acceptance. Become a high-functioning member of a dysfunctional system. They'll call you healthy, well-adjusted, resilient, the perfect inmate. Or you can trust your unhappiness. Not wallow in it, not let it destroy you, but trust what it's telling you. That this isn't reality, it's a scam. That your pain isn't the problem, it's the appropriate response to a genuine problem. The real question isn't why you're unhappy. It's why anyone claiming to help you is so invested in making you okay with things that should never be okay. Funny how they diagnose you with resistance to accepting reality, while they're the ones in complete denial about their whole science. So they're not treating your illness. They're trying to cure your clarity.